You ever wake up thinking your day will be just another quiet morning? Then by the end of it, you're standing ankle-deep in mud watching a bridal party run for their lives from three bulls? Yeah, that happened to me, and let me tell you, it started out so normal, you'd never guess what was coming. 7 a.m., coffee in hand, I step outside ready to feed the animals, savor the quiet hum of my land, except I'm hit with this weird sound, like a harp being tuned. And there in the middle of my private pasture is a full-blown white gazebo where my bulls usually roll in the dirt. And standing in the center of it all, Karen, in silk robe, hair in hot rollers, barefoot, barking. Where are the hay bales with the golden ribbons? I just stood there, blinking, thinking I must be dreaming, because no way had someone turned my field into a Pinterest wedding overnight, right? But no, there she was, shouting at vendors, rows of chairs stretching across the grass, a giant catering van threatening my irrigation line, and a flower girl waving at me like I was the weird neighbor crashing their party. And here's the kicker, I hadn't even put my boots on. This wasn't just a rehearsal or setup. This was the actual day, and it was happening on my land, without so much as a note on my door. I walk forward, still trying to process, and Karen finally notices me, wrinkling her nose like I'm interrupting something sacred. "Oh good, you're here," she says, all faux gratitude. "Can you move that rusty tractor? It's ruining the rustic vibe." I just stare, speechless, while someone hands her a clipboard and she gives this Oscar-worthy nod. My pasture, my bull's home, turned into a fairy tale wedding venue overnight, and nobody thought to ask the person who actually owns it. I start following the extension cords and wires all the way back to the barn, and there's Dale, Karen's cousin, self-proclaimed event DJ, unloading speakers. I ask him who gave permission for all this. He shrugs. Karen said it was community land or something. She knows the HOA. Right. I correct him on the spot. This isn't community land. This is my land. Been in my family 10 years, tax records and all. He just shrugs again, says Karen talked to someone. Everything's fine. Someone, but not me. So I march back to Karen, who's now in a heated debate over napkin colors, and I tell her, firm as I can, "Karen, this is my property. You're trespassing. Take it all down." And she just laughs, that half-scoff, half-offended thing entitled folks do. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. It's one afternoon. You're not even using this field, and we're all set up. Guests are flying in. It's too late to change." I tell her that's not my problem. She rolls her eyes. "You're being selfish. It's going to be beautiful. You'll thank me later." Like that was supposed to make it okay. Then I spot a sign at the edge of my property, hand-painted. "Welcome to Wedding Hollow, a Karen event." Forward, wedding rings as the logo, like she's branded my pasture and claimed it. That's when I knew this wasn't a simple misunderstanding. So I do what any rancher would. I take pictures of every single thing, the cords, the gazebo, the decorations, and I tell her I'm calling the sheriff. She doesn't even blink, just tells me she has a permit, and I'll look foolish when the truth comes out. Sheriff rolls up 20 minutes later. By then, I've got my property deed in hand. Karen greets them with crocodile tears, says she was misled by a shady coordinator, flashes a crumpled lease with my name misspelled and a signature that looked like a squirrel wrote it. The deputy just shakes his head, points out it's not even the right address, and asks if I want to press charges. I hesitate. Sure, part of me wants her hauled off, but I know shutting down a wedding would make me the villain on Nextdoor for years. So I give her 24 hours. She smiles. "Thank you. You won't regret this." But I already did. Now, that should have been the end. But Karen's the type who, when you give her an inch, she takes the whole pasture. That night, I walk the fence line, watching the sunset on my hay bales, bulls pinned up in the back lot, all of them as annoyed as I am. I scratch Tank behind the ears, tell him, "Don't worry, buddy, your moment's coming." I turn back to the house, and wouldn't you know it, another vendor pulls up with crates of champagne, asking where to set up brunch. I realize Karen isn't packing up. She's scaling up. My mercy became a green light, and she's daring me to stop her in front of 200 guests. By morning, the smell of lavender incense wafts from my field, a flute playing what sounds suspiciously like "My Heart Will Go On," and a dozen yoga mats laid out like confetti. Karen's leading a yoga class, manifesting abundance, a photographer snapping away like she's Oprah. And she's put up a professionally printed sign, Pastoral Bliss Events, where love meets the land, phone number and website included. My blood pressure spikes. Bulls are restless. Even they look like they're getting tired of her nonsense. At this point, I call Micah, a part-time lawyer, full-time cynic, show him the fake lease, and he laughs so hard he nearly chokes. File a cease and desist, sure, he says, but honestly, start documenting everything. And if you need backup, make sure Karen knows your bulls aren't props. So I walk the fence with a GoPro, jot down every new trespass, every out-of-place porta-potty, every fairy light strung in the old elm tree. Final straw? She starts handing out glossy brochures around town. Meet our friendly mascots, pictures of Tank, Pickle, and Sir Hornslet, my actual bulls, like their party favors. I call Greg, the HOA president, hoping for some backup, he says. Karen's my cousin. I didn't give her permission, and that permit's fake. We don't have jurisdiction. Don't drag me into it, man. Translation: I'm on my own. That's when I decide enough is enough. I prep the bull's pen, reinforce the gates, post a giant sign, private agricultural land. Bulls on site. Enter at your own risk. Email it to Karen, CC the sheriff. 10 minutes later, she replies, you will regret that. That's all I needed. Wedding day dawns clear and blue, lavender and trampled grass thicken the air, and my pasture looks like a county fair threw up on it. White tints, garlands, chairs in rows, the whole 9 yards. Karen rides up in a white carriage. Yeah, really wrecks my irrigation. Steps out in a dress that could blind you. Minister steps up, music plays, and I know it's my cue. I walk to the paddock, open the bullpen, not recklessly, just enough. At first, nothing. Then Pickle, Tank, and Sir Hornslet wander out, like they're inspecting their own home that's been overrun by fools. Pickle bumps a chair, a woman screams. Guests think it's part of the act, until Tank lumbers straight for the flower arch, a bridesmaid shrieks. A groomsman tries to intercept, gets nudged to the ground. Karen turns, sees the bulls, and the sound she makes, part rage, part denial, all drama, echoes across the field. The bulls aren't even interested in her, just the territory. Tank knocks over a speaker, Pickle sniffs at the wedding cake, Sir Hornslet drags a satin runner behind him like a trophy. Karen's yelling at me, control your animals. I just fold my arms, let justice play out. It's chaos. DJ tries to play soothing music, horse bolts, porta-potty tips over, people fleeing, high heels stuck in mud, someone diving into flower arrangements. Karen tries to grab a bull by the halter, Sir Hornslet flings mud all over her dress. She falls, mascara running, guests filming on their phones. By dinner, the videos are viral, Karen yelling, stop the cows, this is my day. Set to dramatic music, her fall in slow motion, internet calling the bulls the real heroes. After the dust settles, Karen sues me, willful endangerment. Property damage, emotional sabotage. Her lawyer is a joke. The papers misspell my name. Describe a rogue cattle invasion. Micah, my lawyer, laughs but warns me. She's not trying to win, she's trying to flip the story. And sure enough, Karen posts a tearful video, claims I trained the bulls to attack, paints herself as the victim. But back home, the vendors, the HOA, even her friends are fed up, bounce checks, fake reviews, a string of burned bridges. HOA bans her from community events. Greg resigns in shame. Karen tries to launch a reality show, films a healing celebration at a vineyard, uses footage from my land without permission. I send takedown notices, and she's forced to retreat. Finally, she's caught trespassing again, filming redemption content. Security chases her off for good. Her house goes up for sale, and when the moving truck pulls away, no one waves goodbye. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Thanks to the viral fame, I start getting real requests from couples who actually respect the land. I get permits, work with a local planner, set boundaries, move the bulls for events, call it bulls and vows. The first wedding is small, beautiful, drama-free. The land heals, the story lives on, and people still ask if the bulls are trained to respond to harp music. I let them believe what they want. Somewhere along the fence, I tie a scrap of satin from Karen's ruined dress, a marker of where the nonsense ended and the real story began. So next time you think about crossing someone's boundaries, remember, The land remembers. And so do I. Now tell me, who was right here, me, the land, or Karen? Let's hear it in the comments below. Would you have done the same, or would you have called the law? Where do you draw the line between forgiveness and holding your ground?